Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black VTF here. Hold on a second. We have rebranded the In the Black VTF to the Quant Edge VTF coming up Monday here at T3 Live with our new website and all that kind of stuff. And the reason I wanted to do that is to set ourselves a little bit apart so people can understand exactly what we do. Because at In the Black, or shall I say, Quant Edge, we don't have, in my humble opinion, or he's calling a top, or he's calling a target of 45 because he wants it to go there and has his fingers crossed conviction, stuff like that. You can save your Neanderthalian surmises and all that kind of stuff because bring me your stats. All price action can be quantified, and you can quantify that using time frame continuity for direction, actionable signals on why we can expect the price to move, and exhaustion risk engaging magnitude through the continuous price discovery that forms the broadening formations. Let's get to it. So basically what happened last week is we got the SPY going to new highs every day, but 3 of the 5 days closed lower than they opened, so it was in conflict as it moved up. And so oftentimes there was a lot of opportunity on the short side of things that were going down. If you weren't trying to pick tops and were short and things are going down, you're doing all right. But basically it was a global breakout. We had the DXJ and the weekly stuff. Remember we talked about this last week. DXJ, inside week and up, FXI, you had the DAX up, you had EWZ, all inside week, so it was a global inside week to the upside. But now as you get into these, the higher highs in the SPY, here we are still momentum hammer here on the monthly. That's good. But as anytime you hit new highs every day like this, and have an outside day like that, we also have earnings season coming up, so it might be a lot real more individually, and so it's going to be a little shorter video this week as we get ready for earnings. And like I said, once things get set in motion, then we'll know where to go. But right out the chute, you got SPY outside day into the highs, and so that's anybody's guess. We'll see how that goes. You got QQQ. Comes here on the weekly and does this. Boom, boom, couldn't make it. Now it goes lower low, now higher high. Now how do we get out of here to see if this can be a continuation pattern? But and we do have the monthly hammer there, but that's going to be case by case. We'll see. Apple doing nothing, although it had a fairly good week, but still nowhere near that and nowhere near that. And right as of right now, still being inside month, I'll be green here, and so that's somewhat good. As you get into the middle of a month, you want to be looking at monthly charts because you want to see if there's things that are dojiing on the month halfway through, because that tells you they're not doing anything. It doesn't mean they might have a second half comeback or what have you, but you certainly want to be aware of that because we want to trade things that are moving, not things that are sitting there stalling out. And if we go back to the global stuff, what's going to be interesting here is your VGK. The Vanguard Europe. So this thing is nowhere near taking this out. So this is going to be on the back burner coming in August here. You'll see this going to go inside month, and then we'll talk there. So another thing we can look at here is globally, you've got the FXE Euro going inside week here, and that's going to give you a UUP. Not quite, but 2 weeks within that. So a little interesting there for the currency stuff like that. Anyway, let's get to the American bonds. TLT had a rough week and came ripping back in. On the monthly here, as you can see here, the monthly opening was 140.81. And so once it took that and was down on the week, which it was, and anytime it was down on the day, then you can see the difference, although this is not easy in here. But it did take full time frame continuity back to the downside, and that's where you could look for some shorts like in here. Like here, once it took out the opening, it wasn't very easy, obviously choppy trade in there, but did go full time frame continuity to the downside, but no new actionable signals there. What's going to be real interesting here is the small cappers, IWM. Think of this. 3 days completely within Tuesday's range, and that needs to change. So it took out this inside bar by a few cents, so technically a rev strat to the upside, but really needs to get out of that range. And so to start off the week, that's going to be interesting. VXX still doing its job and going momentum shooter on the all-time lows, and just awaiting the announcement of the reverse split there as well. If we go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, like a lot of these charts, they just exploded to the upside. You still have the monthly hammer here, go, go, go. But on the daily, as you can see, it's just so once you start doing this, here's up, sideways, measured move. Now it's anybody's guess. So it's going to be case by case basis. And so if we go over there, you're going to see CAT going inside day on near the highs here. You've got IBM Here is an inside, or not inside day, but momentum hammer. And so potentially combination momentum hammer, monthly and daily. I'm sorry, right here, momentum hammer, and above that, and then the daily here. But we shall see how much Momo this market still has in it, but you never know. Microsoft's going. Still Rev Strat month here. Inside bar countered with hammer and up. That's good. We go to mini mines, and mini mines just on a tear and going daily momentum hammer on the highs to see if there's still any more in the tank there. If we go to UNH, UNH is going to start off as an inside day near the highs, and we'll see how it gets out of this range in here. And with that, you're going to go to Aetna going inside week. So you can watch those HMOs once those things start getting on the move, like the He-Man and all that stuff. You can just pop around on that. If we go to Verizon, Verizon was an inside week, and so we're going to see if we do pull back, if there's still that defensive posture, even though we're going into the highs. If they pull back and go back into that stuff, the XLP and the defensive names and the Utes. And here's AT&T, also an inside week to start off this week. If we go to the trannies, look at the trannies did. And we still have this weekly triangle, but remember this one. Yay! Bam! Right to there. And now inside day, although the IYT was not. So the trannies finally having a pretty good month here. Coming up still, but coming up into all this stuff here. And finally the airlines from last week's hammers. United Airlines, boom. We got those inside hammering up. Now just starting off as an inside day here, like a lot of things, near the highs. You got American Airlines. Also an inside day after that weekly hammer to see if there's any more continuation there. But late there was more chatter for the choo-choos. You got CP Rail is an inside day here, and you've got Norfolk Southern up into here. The Rev Strat month is kicking in for the choo-choos here. Inside month countered by opening closing here. Rev Strat month to the upside. Norfolk Southern. We have CSX Rev Strat month up. You've got KSU. There, Rev Strat month up, so we can keep an eye on all that stuff. And then FedEx still forming the inside month so far, albeit green. And seeing on the daily, it's still down into here. Still hasn't taken this stuff out, so we'll have to see if there's any setups to do that or if it's going to stay inside month, because UPS does the full round tripper if you go to the weekly that we've been watching for oh so long. And there she blows. A beaut. But now, like a lot of things, coming up into here, but higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low. Boom, hammer, see you later, bye. All right, so like I said, it looks like the rails might be the ones that we want to be focusing on here, and we'll see how things go once the market opens. We got XLU, the Utes going inside week, and like I said, we want to see if there's a flip back to defensive posture, or if they're going to stay with risk on, or how that goes. You got Dominion as an inside week to keep an eye on. And shrink these back down. And hello, my name is Peggy, PEG, going inside week to keep an eye on there. You got VNQ and the REITs just stalling out here a little bit near the highs, doji week, and letter O goes inside week, keep an eye on that. And BXP going toward the highs. It was weekly hammer combination, and right now still inside month to the upside, so BXP still something to keep an eye on. If we go to the XME, still getting the job done inside month and to the upside. These metals are getting the job done again. And you got gold. Gold comes in back down here on last week. And that was interesting because gold backed off here and back to the top of the triangle to hold support and going inside day here because you got GDX. It's going inside day up here as well and holding up much better than the metal itself. So if we can get that metal to turn around, maybe to keep the jets going here in the Nuggie and and stuff like that. So to start off, what you do have over there is you got GG as an inside day and still trying to hold this inside month and up. It's back red, but you can want to see if that thing can can start picking up some steam like the XME and everything else here to get through that inside month, and certainly inside day and up, and gold would help that. If you go to Newmont, so Newmont's still getting it done, and Newmont's starting off as an inside day just with the rest of the gang up in here. PAAS and the silver still inside month and up, so that signal's still good here. And okay, if we go to like I said, we'll just keep an eye on all that inside day stuff because you know how the Nuggie, the JNUG can produce off inside days. If we go to steels, SLX steel still inside month and up, and so letter X still inside month and up, and Reliance Steel RS still going here and just starting off as an inside day. See how that goes. If we go to Alcoa, Alcoa is still monthing up here, and that's good. So that signal's still in force. We've got ATI still inside monthing up. CLF still rallying back up and still just waka waka. And inside day to start trying to get out of this range here, but still holding an upper level range. If we go to CNX, and one of the things you want to look at, a lot of these things, people are like, it's up too much, but you look at the monthlies on some of this stuff, and CNX survived all this, but now side-by-side momentum hammers to the upside. CNX, keep an eye on those momentum hammers anytime that there's full time frame continuity to the upside, and that thing you want to know about it. If we go to FCX, our buddy, RevStrat month still in force and just doing the waka waka. So we'll see how the commods can handle that, and finally Vale. Just trying to get out of this monthly range. Like we're trying to see stuff like this. If they can take this red bar, much like the XME, it'd be great, because you look at this monthly chart, and this thing has been a lot higher. It's a lot higher than this too. And so, if all these commodities are still coming out of the ashes, when people say they've run too far, you got to remember they beat them up pretty good on the downside. So we'll continue to watch all that, of course. Now, if we go to the financials. Not too much. Still would be inside month, and FAS, like a lot of things, does this. Here, it takes this triangle, but it's not strong enough to take that out yet. But we've blown a lot of signals out here, so there's not too much to keep an eye on, because last week you had your Bank of America go inside week, up, now nothing, JP Morgan, all that kind of stuff worked, but now there's not too much over there. And Wells Fargo dropping back in, and so Wells Fargo still, like I said, you're going to see a lot of these things inside month, and so you want to be aware these things are going to probably stay inside month as we go forward. If we go to PNC Bank, still would be an inside month. You'll be aware of that, but if they want to start smacking them, you got this potential RevStrat week here, inside week countered with that if they want to bring her in a little bit. So we'll be aware of that. You got Chubb in the insurers. That would be a RevStrat week to the downside, albeit coming off the highs, and it would be tough to take this thing out to the downside, so it would be a 3-bar pattern, but we'll see how that goes. We go to Goldman Sachs. Had a nice push here. You can see this weekly triangle. I just don't have any actionable signals, but I'd keep an eye on this, and if it starts running, now it's taking out this, so it can still be lower level of that, but if it starts moving up here, you can see towards about 170 would be the slight higher high stuff there. If we go to Visor, still Visor just kind of in here, still going to be inside month, albeit green. And this is setting up a lot of stuff potentially for August. Obviously, we have a lot more time to go. And MA slightly took it out, not too much going on there. And DFS, just a perfect what we've been drawing and watching here. And like I said, the problem is a lot of these things are just completed as we go into new highs, and we'll just have to see how things play out and form more actionable signals. And like I said, earnings season coming up. If you go to crude oil, USO, and so here's one of the problems. You got a 2-bar inside pattern, inside day, and then gaps up and suit, but completely within this range here. Completely within this bar's range here, so still needs to get out of that. And like I said, you want to be aware of things that are doing nothing. And doji on the week, but if you look at the monthly charts here on a lot of things, basically a lot of things doing nothing, waiting for a more significant move out of the underlier. It appears, because on the monthly XLE, you got this, and XOP's even worse here. Try doji now. It would be a RevStrat if it takes it down, but 3 months. Look at this. And so you want to be really careful when you're seeing that. You really kind of want things to break out and do something. And OIH, doji on the month, doing nothing. So always want to be aware of that. If you go to the big boy Chevron and Exxon, the big boys just still trying to, right in the face of some weaker energy prices, getting it done here. Just slowly walking up, just no new actionable signals there. APA here would be RevStrat upside day. But if you look here, once again, on the monthly, inside month, that's got to change. Right now it's consolidating, waiting for something. So going to keep an eye on, hopefully we can get a bigger move out of the underlier to get some of this stuff going. You got Conoco here, once again, inside month, doji doing nothing, and usually if you have to squint, it's probably doing nothing, albeit would be RevStrat to the downside on the weekly, so be aware of that should we get a nice drop in the underlier. Emirata has the same, but once again, halfway through, we're still inside, outside, inside month. And so, yeah, just be careful when you see this stuff. LPI, just should we get a dumper? Is RevStrat weak to the downside? You've got NFX here, just another outperformer that expandos the monthly. Now test that and trying to move higher. So far outperforming, and it looks like an inside day. So Oxy still trying to get out of this business in here, and I told people to be careful in here until it can get out of this stuff because it's chopping people up pretty good. Like that. Just bam, 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 and now completely within that. So just be careful on that. If you go to SLCA, just a little triangle to keep an eye on if things start to crack a little bit. You've got this here, no new actionable signal though. If you go to Slob, 2 days completely within this bars pattern, and just still doji on the month, and you just want to be aware of stuff like that because it ain't moving. All right, let's see that a little bit bigger. Okay, you've got Halliburton, doji inside month, so just be careful of that stuff unless we get them moving on the underlier. If you go to NOV, same deal. It's just always keep an eye on this monthly chart. If things start to heat up, tried it here, got them good, and comes back in. So we just want to see how does it get finally resolve out of that range. And right now, nothing. You do have Natty Gas, UNG, doji on the month. So that's UNG. Going here, trying to go RevStrat back to the upside. So Natty Gas, you got COG. Potential RevStrat down if that takes that down. EGN here, just starting off as an inside day. But really, the weekly equilibriums that have formed are in the refiners. And if we go to PSX, see, inside week there. Valero inside week. MPC. Tesoro. So really want to focus on those inside weeks because they formed the equilibrium there. If we go to retail, XRT tries to get back up and does this. Hello, 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 hello. Now you got the higher highs off of that and drops in for a little profit takey on the inside days. You got Costco just consolidating near the highs after a big push, so not too much going on there, albeit still bright green on the month and taking a shot at new highs. Target takes the inside month to the upside, although it's going to have a tough time taking all of this out, so you just want to be aware of that, but that signal is still in force. Walmart, slight doge on the month and just doing the creep, and so we could use some actionable signals in there. Doji week, so nothing there. If we go to Burlington Coat Factory inside week near the highs, and so we can see if we can get the up sideways measured move out of that. If there's more in the tank, you've got burritos. I'm a real boy now. Nope, bitch slap right back down. So doji shooter to see if this price discovery failed to try and get out of here and takes her back down, or if it's just a little back off at the end of the week to try and get ahead of steam, but still having some issues over there. Dollar Tree inside week near the new all-time highs to see if we can finally shoot that thing towards par. You've got DRI. DRI is a weekly shooter down here, so that's not good when you have the market going to the highs and you're backing off like that. So this is a momentum weekly shooter. I would keep an eye on that below here, but that's 6207 would kick that in. If you go to GES, you can see the same thing. Shooter counters hammer, RevStrat near the lows, still having problems there. You've got Gap Stores still inside month and up on the comeback trail. You've got Nordstrom. Weekly, still trying to get out of this, and so here now you're going to see this lower level stuff like this. You see this? Lower low, higher high. So I want to see how we can get out of that thing on the daily. It's going to look like this. Bang, 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 bang. Now it needs to try and get out of that. If you go to Coors Purses, the Coors Purses going, fighting for that inside month to the upside here. That's above 51.58 right there. If we go to LB, still trying to get out of that inside month. Ross Stores is inside month and up at presently. Tiffany still having some issues here. I'm trying to go RevStrat weak to the downside. Tractor Supply, after getting the smackdown, would be Rev Strat weak to the downside because it opened and closed in this inside bar. 2 bar pattern completely in that. Under Armour came up off that momentum hammer. Now just going to start off the week as an inside day. Macy's still above the inside month. And I believe Decker's still inside month and up for you over there too. If we go to the IBB, once again, you see the IBB has this outside month, inside month, albeit green this month at this huge range. Still got to get out of this thing. If you go to the weekly, you're going to see this here with just a tight doji week. So the question is that going to be a rest before more of this to go up and test some of this stuff, or right in the middle and drop back in? Well, we'll see. If we go to Celgene, here, still stuck in this. You see the 3 lower highs to see if we can take that kind of stuff out. Still would be inside month. Like most things here in IBB, like I said, it's really been stock specific. BIIB, it's going to have a real tough time not being an inside month, but once again, nice rally here. Doing the weekly triangle dance here as it came back up into there, and then Fridays here. Very nice hammer and up, but you're just coming back into no man land, so we'll have to look for further signals until when we get them. If we go to Amgen, here's that daily triangle there, and still trying to come up on this stuff here in the monthly. Going to be a lot of eyeballs up in here, but coming up there, the problem here is that no actionable signal to get through it, but we'll keep looking for anything that pops up there. You got GILD and still stuck down into here. It did test up there, test down there, and now comes back in the range. So that's good. Didn't fall apart from there, recovers. And on the daily, you're just going to see this. No new actionable signals here either, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just shy of taking that out. We'll see how that sets up, but no actionable signals there either. If we go to Regeneron, nice daily hammer and back up, and sets up the weekly hammer here. So if Regeneron can take that out, then maybe we can start talking about triangle and back up through this stuff. You got your lower low down in here. Well, once again, still, it is green on the month, but a big month to try and get out of. We'll see if it can take that weekly hammer. If we go to ANIK, that's been our fave. It finally did go to new highs and took it all out off this momentum hammer last month. You'll recall that. And now it backs off a little bit, and we got ourselves an inside week to keep an eye on there. If we go to EW here, weekly shooter, so you can see something like this. 1, 2, 3 lows. Coming off the highs right here, so out of here. So the question is it going to drop back in like that or go up? Because if it starts going back up again, you got the Rev Strat month in force. If we go to IONS is still inside month and up. Going to be tough getting out of this thing. But anytime you see that and you see it start to move like this in the daily, we're looking for it. Look at this. Outside bar hammer. Triangles right back up on them. You can look for those shorter term signals or that hammer. And inside month is a combination. We just have, all you have right now is inside month and up. Jazz Farm is just starting off the day as a Rev Strat day, and like most things here, you're going to have a tough time not being an inside month and still doji month, but right at the shoot for to see a Monday setup. We'll see how that goes. Juno sets up the Momo weekly shooter of death, and here you guys be like, oh, they can still test the drug. Yeah, it still killed somebody. Bam. So now it's an inside day with potential momentum shooter to the downside. We'll see how that goes, and it's cohort there, Kite, getting thrown around a little bit, but goes inside weak. So we'll see how which way that confirms. MDVN, another inside weak near the highs, outperforming still over there. And MYGN would be a Rev Strat to the downside here on the weekly if that wants to start dropping back in. And once again, all those big monthlies, which is going to set up for a very interesting August if a lot of this stuff stays inside. And at this point, it certainly looks like it is. If we go to TAC XLK, like most of those broader stuff, there's a hammer going up, and you can look at this weekly that we've been watching for so long, and here you go. Voila, you got your whammo, and then you got your boom, 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 and right back to the line. So trying to get through that stuff using the monthly hammer. SMH Semiconductor here above monthly momentum hammer, like most things there, and just an inside day to start off. And if we go to all your faves, you got the Facebook, and the Facebook is doing nothing really. It's there are some discernible good moves, but you're nowhere near taking out that nor that. You're back to the middle of the range, and here still forming that inside month. So we'll just take that day by day. If you go to Amazon, so Amazon, at least for now, is still holding that momentum hammer to the upside. Now, the problemo was it came into this. On the weekly, you get your slight higher highs and the test right there, not the end of the world. And remember the daily looking like this. So here it goes expando and trying to get in here. So I want to see if that can hold up or if it's going to completely drop back in. At this point, still momentum hammer on the monthly. If they can take that monthly red, we'll see how that goes, or if things start ramping up again. If we go to Netflix, finally, Netflix, little hammer here, and Netflix goes inside week. So finally got an equilibrium out of the Netflix, which we should because we're right in the middle of nowhere. So you're just going to be careful when it does break. But at least it's an actionable signal, and nowhere near that nor that. But first steps first, inside week for Netflix. If you go to Google. Google indeed made that lower low, and now you got this, which would be nice if you can get that measurement at least into here. That would still be lower highs of this, the top of the triangle, but that's still 770 if you can get there. You just don't have any actionable signals to do it right now, but that monthly would still be inside month at least at this point. But it took the lower low, and now that's oftentimes a good sign if we can get that. Take it all the way to the other side. We just need more actionable signals, and we can look for shorter term stuff. If you go to AMBA. And AMBA, remember that Rev Stratter month, and then up, and now right now just starting off inside day to try and get out of this thing. Up, sideways measured move would be nice, or drop her in and puke. If we go to Baidu's setting up with the Rev Strat week to the downside, puker. But we'll see. Like I said, nowhere near that nor that, and inside week countered with shooter, potential Rev Strat downside Baidu. If you go to Cirrus Logic. Cirrus Logic just inside week near the highs here, and its all-time highs are a bit higher and also starting off as an inside day here to try and take a shot at all that stuff. That'd be a combination. We got a Cyber. Cyber continues to move, and you look at this, triangles them out, slight lower low, inside day, see you later, bye-bye. All right, so that's good, and now it's just an inside day up here, so it's a bit of momentum, but on the monthly basis, it has, taken all this stuff we were looking at, the inside month, and so if you go to Splunker, going to start off, and you can see this bigger monthly triangle there, and starting off the daily Rev Strat day, and you've already got this taken out down in here, so the hopes is this is the middle of the triangle. It goes Rev Strat and goes ripping through that stuff into the high, so we'll see. If we get a Red Hat going in so far the other way. You got a weekly Rev Strat to the downside here. Doji on the month, so you just want to be careful on a bunch of this stuff. And remember, the weekly stuff is a blueprint, and then once the market opens, then it's on. So then during the week is when we really find out what's going on. But Yahoo, you got this tight triangle consolidation here and a Rev Strat to the downside if it wants to take it. So the daily going to look like this. So when the daily triangle's too tight, you can see you can get murdered in here. But now we'll see how it goes. Can it break through all this stuff, or is it going to drop all the way back in again? Bang, 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 bang. Rev Strat potential Yahoo. Twitter. The tweets going Rev Strat daily upside, 2-bar pattern. See this? 2 bars completely inside that. So I want to see either the re-breakdown or the Rev Strat and 1, 2, 3 levels up like that. And actually 4 levels of stops we can take out there if it starts going up. Okay, just a few more. XLP, of course, we want to see if there's any weakness if they go back into defense. XLP was just doji on the week. But in there, and like named stocks at Dr. Pepper, inside week, trying to go to new all-time highs. You've got Pepsi. Here is still inside month and up for right now. You've got General Mills. Just General Mills and Kellogg's, boom, just blue rippers and just hanging near the high. So we'll see if there's any if they can regroup here and go weekly Momo Hammer and the General Mills and Kellogg's just straight up. And then you can look at Post and get some Raisin Bran, and you got a momentum weekly hammer here. So we'll see how that goes. You also have the cheese ketchup, KHC. And that's an inside week near the highs. Kimberly-Clark, the Dipes, inside week there. So we'll see how that goes. In the solars, you got FSL YAR going inside week down in here to see if there's any hope. And SCTY, and it's also starting off as daily hammer. So we'll see how that goes here too. You've got SCTY coming up on this business, and it's an inside week, and if it takes that inside week here to the upside, you'd also be inside week monthly combo. So certainly going to keep an eye on that. And SPWR here, Obviously, still an inside month doji, but we'll just see how it goes with those others. If the Solars want to run, because a 2-bar inside pattern right here to see if it can get off of this and use this as a launch pad up into there if there's any hope. If we go to Archer Daniels Midland, just a few more things here. Archer Daniels Midland. Just going towards the highs and slight momentum, weekly hammer there. If you go ATVI, here still momentum hammer on the monthly here. If you go to EXAS, here still trying to come up in there, but potential inside day still walking up this thing. But if it starts to break, there is potential for the rev strat week here. Shooter counters inside week. Sina, SYNA, all sorts of problems here, but an inside week off the lows if there's any hope. So either continuation puker or trying to bring her back up a bit. XPO, potential rev strat week to the downside. XRS, so that's CRS. XRS potential rev strat week into the new highs, so we can keep an eye on that. Wynn Resorts. Potential rev strat week downside to try and retest that bottom triangle down in there. Still an inside month though. And Tesla, just doing nothing. Joji shooter and in here, but it's really in the middle of nowhere. And so if you're going to be on this thing, we're just starting off with this daily stuff. Now it comes up and takes that out. So the question is it going to be strong enough to test that, or is it going to drop down into here and do something and go inside? So those are a lot of F's, or buts, and we got earnings coming out this week. So and we're still working and getting the new website up and running. So that's going to do it for this week. I'm Rob Smith of the Quant Edge VTF here at T3 Live. Hope you all had a great weekend and have a great week.